Good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a new year, new cup. This is a gift from the bestie Stephanie, Frida, whatever you choose to call her. You see her all the time on the channel, but that was a gift from her, and I love it. I believe it's the Chinese New Year cup, or it might be a Christmas cup. I don't know, but I love it. It's so pretty. And we will be using this one for a while. But what are we here to talk about today? We're here to discuss every book I read in December. So it is that time again. I read 12 books in the month of December. I will drop my little grid here for you. So that's every book that I read for the month of December. 12 is one of my lighter months. I think 16, 15 is typically where I'm at. But some of these were beefy, and we had the holidays. So honestly, I'm cool with 12 because I didn't even think I was going to have 10 there for a little while. Because like I said, at least 2 of these were beefy. So it is what it is. I started out December with Rebecca Yarros' Variation. Now, Rebecca Yarros is the author of Fourth Wing, and this is her first foray into contemporary romance that's not like fantasy, from what I understand. And it was okay. I gave it 4 stars. Sorry, I have my spreadsheet behind me, as you know. I gave it 4 stars. It was fun. It's about a ballerina and her small town love interest, so it was fine. It didn't grab me like her fantasy work does, so it was just fine. Next, I did some J.R. Ward rereads because I am a Black Dagger Brotherhood girl to my core. I was knee-deep in the research on the Passionflix project, and also I knew I was going to read A Bloom in Winter when it came out. So I read Lover Mine, Lover at Last, and The Chosen, which are all kind of intertwined. Lover Mine is John Matthews' book, Lover at Last is Blay and Quinn's book, and The Chosen is Layla's book with Zor. And so those storylines all kind of intertwine. So I reread those 3. I want to do a reread on the Trainee series really badly because I loved those Blood Kiss, Blood Vow, or whatever they were called. So good. I want to reread those. I think there was 4 of them. So that's coming up for me. I think 2025 is going to be a year of rereads. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a few new things that are really grabbing my attention, but there's some classics to me, that I'm really wanting to reread in 2025. I don't know, I'm missing them a little bit. So rereading more J.R. Ward in 2025, absolutely. And those all got 5-star plus like they always do. But Bloom in Winter was the next thing I read, which is a new release from this series. It is a Christmas book. She always puts out like a winter or Christmas book. These 2 characters are not necessarily in the Black Dagger Brotherhood. They are sub-characters from the prison camp. There's a whole prison camp sub-series that I'm actually a little behind on. And so that's where these 2 characters come from. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. I didn't give it 5-star plus because I did miss my OG guys from the Brotherhood, but it was still 5 stars. They were intertwined. The world was intertwined. It was very good. I finished it in like a day and a half. I really, really enjoyed it. It just didn't get that plus from me because it wasn't like all consuming as my general 5-star pluses get. Next, I read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It was commented by one of my subscribers when I got it in a haul that they could not wait for me to read this book, so I prioritized it, and I enjoyed it a lot. It got, I'm double checking, 4 solid stars from me. It is YA. But I really enjoyed it. I really didn't see the twist at the end coming for like who the kind of bad guy, if you would, is. And I definitely like this better than her Inheritance Games series. I read the first Inheritance Games book and didn't care for it. I like this series much better and will continue on with the series throughout the year. It is actually on my New Year's resolution series list. I hope my washer and dryer aren't being too loud, but I had to do laundry, so I apologize if they are. But yes, in The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes got a solid 4 stars for me. It is teenage crime hunters with natural abilities. That's the best way to describe it. And I really enjoyed the first book. Like I said, plan to finish this series this year. It was really well done. And even if you read this author's Inheritance Games series and didn't like it, I didn't care for Inheritance Games. This was different and this was better. So don't judge this by that, basically to say. Next up was one of the beefiest boys and took up almost a solid week of my December. I think it took up like 5.5 days of my December. And so that's one of the reasons I only read 12 books this month. But that's, of course, Brandon Sanderson's Wind and Truth, 1,800-page madness that it is. But I enjoyed the hell out of it. It got 5 stars from me. It didn't get plus, and the reason why, you can go watch my Wind and Truth review if you choose. But it was still 5 solid stars. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was fun. It was a great end to the first era of Stormlight Saga. And I really enjoyed it. So 5 stars. I really didn't have anything get under 4 stars this month, I don't think. Which is, the next book did. It only got 3 stars. And that's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I may have had too high hopes for this one. I love cozy books, but I have found that I struggle with them sometimes. If they are too cozy, sometimes they are just too boring also. And that is kind of what happened here. It just lost me and it drug on a lot and wasn't my favorite thing in the whole wide world. It got 3 stars. Will I read the next book in the series? Probably, because I already own it. I bought both books in the series because I had heard such great things about them and they were like on the Goodreads Awards. And so I will definitely read the second book. But I don't know, just didn't grab me the way I had hoped. 1, my expectations could have been too high. 2, it was Christmas and I was on vacation at my mother's and people were chatting with me and yada yada yada. So maybe I wasn't in the right place to read this book at the time. Maybe this is when I have to fully immerse myself and do a reread in like my new reading chair with a giant blanket and nobody around me. So that's totally an option, and I might do that when I go to read the second book, try to do a brief, like, skimming type reread of the first one and see if I don't like it a little bit better in a different environment. That does happen for me. I tend to need the right environment for the right book. Like, I tried to read that The Bear and the Nightingale on a cruise through Europe, thinking it would be perfect for the atmosphere. It was not. That book is extremely whimsical and fantastical. That's the word I was looking for. And like based in Russian winter, and it's Russian fiction. And it was not made to be read on a beach or on the side of a beautiful ship going down some crystal blue water. It just wasn't. And so I do plan to reread that one as well at some point because it was the wrong environment to read it, and that happens. Next up, I read my solitary only nonfiction for the year. I read one. I can officially say I read one nonfiction this year. It was a recommendation by a friend, and it is Trauma in the Soul by Dr. Donald Kalsched. And it is basically a therapist talking about trauma and some of his patients and cases and how they manifested and dealt with their traumas. If it is something that interests you, I gave it a solid 4 stars. It was very good. It was very helpful. It was very eye-opening. And I really freaking liked it. I did it on Audible. I really liked the narrator's voice. I liked consuming this content on Audible because it really just felt like a therapist talking to me and telling me stories and how to deal with certain things. That's what it felt like. And I absolutely ate it up. Really enjoyed Trauma in the Soul. The Prison Healer by Lonette Nani also got 4 stars from me this month. I enjoyed this. The beginning was phenomenal. It started to get a little slow at the end, but it was still a 4-star read. It is tropey as shit, guys. It is your weak little female main character in a games fighting for her life and winning. But it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked the prison life that she is living and describes. And yeah, I just really enjoyed The Prison Healer. I thought it was really well done, and I do plan to read the rest of that series as it comes. It's on my TBR. My TBR for 2025, we're going to do at some point in January that video. It is looking beefy. Already it's looking beefy. The next book I read was a 5-star plus. Can you guess what it was? Because I have not shut the French doors up about it since I read it. And that is Manacled. Manacled by Sen-Lin Yu is incredible. It is amazing. I hope you read it or at least downloaded it before it was taken off of Archive of Our Own. I plan to read The Auction, which is another similar dark Germoini fan fiction here in the next few months. I downloaded it because it was also being removed from Archive of Our Own. And I am very much looking forward to that if it's as good as Manacled. I don't have, Manacled exceeded every expectation that I had. So I don't have high expectations for The Auction, but I am excited to read it. But yeah, wow, was Manacled good, guys. That was my 5-star plus of the month. Almost made it my favorite book of the year, but for a few reasons I didn't. You can watch my favorite books of the month video or whatever if you want. And the last thing I read was Ruby Dixon's Bull Moon Rising. I got it for Christmas in the pretty pink sprayed edges. And Ruby Dixon, if you're not familiar, wrote the Planet Barbarian books that everybody is familiar with, the blue aliens who save the women and then seduce them. And this was very much similar. It was a Minotaur or a Tauren and a woman, and it's artifacts and fun and then, knots and rutting. It's monster romance at its peak. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. I plan to read more monster romance that's just fun and enjoyable in 2025. And yeah, that's everything that I read in the month of December. 12 books. There's some changes coming, guys, to Coffee and Lore. You are only going to see a few more weeks of me in this library as it is, which you have seen me in for years now. And then you will see me in a new library. I am moving. The hurricane just really, really did a lot of damage in my town, and I am moving. And because of that, you're going to get a new library. And I'm going to bring you along probably to decorate said library and put all of my books up and everything like that. That will be happening in the month of February. So hold on with me in this library that has been all boxed up pretty much for a few more weeks, and then we will have a new beautiful library to celebrate. So yeah, I love you guys so much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for caring what I read for the month of December. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing. All of those things mean so much to me. I love your comments. When you comment them, I can't wait to respond back to you. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys well into this new year. Here's to 2025 being wonderful for all of us. Cheers.